Here's a detailed story about a wicked stepmother. Title: The Cruel Mistress of the House. In a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forest, there lived a kind-hearted widower named Kofi. He had a beautiful daughter, Oma, who was the light of his life. After losing his wife to a tragic illness, Kofi devoted himself to raising Oma, ensuring she grew up in a loving and nurturing environment. Years passed, and Kofi decided it was time to remarry, believing Oma needed a mother's guidance. He met and fell in love with Adwoa, a striking woman who seemed gentle and kind on the surface. Unbeknownst to Kofi, Adwoa harbored a heart full of jealousy and malice. After the wedding, Adwoa's true nature began to reveal itself. She was harsh and demanding, particularly towards Oma. Adwoa's own daughter, Esi, from a previous marriage, was treated like royalty, while Oma was forced into servitude. Kofi, often away on business, remained unaware of the suffering his beloved daughter endured. Adwoa's cruelty knew no bounds. She would assign Oma the most grueling chores, often without food or rest. Oma's days were filled with cleaning, cooking, and fetching water from the distant river, tasks that left her exhausted and frail. Despite her hardships, Oma remained kind and resilient, her spirit unbroken. One day, as Oma was fetching water, she encountered an old woman by the river. Seeing Oma's weariness, the old woman, who was actually a benevolent forest spirit in disguise, asked why such a young girl was so burdened. Oma, with tears in her eyes, recounted her story. Moved by Oma's plight, the spirit decided to help her. The spirit gifted Oma with a magical gourd, instructing her to pour a drop of water from it into her stepmother's drink that evening. The spirit assured Oma that justice would be served. That night, as instructed, Oma discreetly added a drop from the gourd into Adwoa's drink. The next morning, Adwoa awoke feeling ill and weak, a stark contrast to her usual domineering self. Over the following days, her health continued to decline, and she was forced to rely on Oma, the very daughter she had mistreated, for care. Seeing Oma's unwavering kindness despite everything, Adwoa's heart slowly began to change. In her moments of vulnerability, Adwoa realized the depth of her wrongdoings. She confessed her cruelty to Kofi, who was heartbroken to learn of the suffering his daughter had endured. Adwoa begged for forgiveness from both Kofi and Oma, who, with their generous hearts, granted it. From that day forward, Adwoa dedicated herself to making amends. She treated Oma with the love and respect she deserved, and the household was filled with harmony and happiness. Oma, who had always believed in the goodness of people, finally saw her stepmother transformed into a true mother. The village whispered of the magical change in Adwoa, but only Oma knew the truth. She often visited the river to thank the spirit who had restored peace to her family. The spirit, pleased with Oma's enduring kindness, continued to watch over her, ensuring her life was filled with love and joy. This story of transformation and redemption highlights the power of kindness and forgiveness, even in the face of cruelty.